Again, good day everyone. This is Brian Adams Bowie, and here is my second topic, Module 2, Unit 4, Cohesion and Coherence. So here are our contents: Introduction, Objectives, Main content. Under it, we have Meaning of Cohesion and Coherence, Methods of Achieving Cohesion in Discourse, Coherence in Discourse, and stylistic values of cohesion and coherence in discourse, and we also have conclusion and summary. So first we have introduction. When we speak or write, we often use certain devices to create unity and relevance in what we communicate. When we talk of cohesion and coherence in a piece of communication, we refer to the phenomenon of achieving unity and relevance. This is our focus in this unit. Both cohesion and coherence are essential features of a text, which define its textuality and relevance or meaningfulness. Okay, here are our objectives. So at the end of this unit, you should be able to define cohesion and coherence, identify cohesive ties in text, and analyze a text from the point of view of cohesion and coherence. Now we proceed to our main content. First, we have the meaning of cohesion and coherence. As observed by scholars Quirk and others, 1985, Stern 2001, Osisanwo 2003, coherence has to do with sense. Therefore, when a text or discourse makes sense to the reader, the text is said to have coherence. Okay, so when you say coherence, it has sense or it makes sense to the reader. Cohesion, on the other hand, from the Latin word for sticking together, it is a term, according to Stern 2001, in functional grammar that relates to how texts or words and phrases and sentences are held together lexically and grammatically as a whole. A text that lacks cohesion will be fragmented and disjointed. Okay, so when we say cohesion, it means um, the unity or um, the sticking together of the words, for example, in a sentence. Okay, when we say that there is cohesion in a sentence, that means that um, that sentence are well formed and that the words or the elements there are tied well tied together. So these are now our examples. Mommy beat John. John had come home late. So here it is coherent but not cohesive. Why? Because although it has sense, it does not have um, cohesion. Okay? Next, Mommy beat John because he had come home late. Now, this sentence is cohesive because there is unity. Okay? There is tying together of the two clauses. Notice that the conjunction because and the pronoun he are cohesive devices in sentence. Both are known as the conjunctive cohesion and referential cohesion respectively. Okay, so conjunctive cohesion for the conjunction because, and referential cohesion for the pronoun he. Next, Mommy beat John because America is a developed country. Now, this is cohesive but not coherent. Meaning to say that it has unity. Okay, there is the word because. Okay, there is the conjunction because. Okay, unifying the two clauses, but it is not coherent because there's no sense there. Okay, why did Mommy beat John only because America's developed country? So there's no connection between the clauses. Next, Mommy beat John, America's developed country. So it is not cohesive and not coherent. Okay, so it does not make sense. Okay, the two sentences do not make sense with each other, and they are not related to each other in a way that you cannot unify them in a sentence. So next we have the methods of achieving cohesion in discourse. So there are 5 ways of giving a text cohesion. Okay, so again, um, when we say cohesion, we we refer to the unity, okay, in a sentence. So here are the illustrations of the 5 ways of giving a text cohesion. First, referential cohesion. I met with Samuel and he asked me to pay him a visit. He refers to Samuel, okay? So the pronoun he refers back to the subject Samuel. That's why it's referential cohesion. We also have conjunctive cohesion. I saw him when I arrived. When is a conjunctive device. Next, elliptical cohesion. She prayed and slept. She is left unsaid in the second clause. But she, um, but but a person, okay, the subject, okay, um, the speaker was talking about is the same, okay. The the subject who prayed and slept is the same. Next we have substitutive cohesion. Would you like a cup of tea? Yes, I'd like one. So the word one here replaces or substitutes a cup of tea. Next, lastly, we have lexical cohesion. We all drank water after eating a good meal. So drink and water collocate just as eat and meal. And so cohesion through parallelism. This obtains when a syntactic structure pattern is repeated. So we will know more about this in the next slides. First, we have referential cohesion. This means using pronouns or determiners to refer back to the known nouns in a text. Backward referencing is known as anaphoric reference, while forward referencing is called as cataphoric reference. In the following text, the instances of each referential cohesion are underlined. Okay, for example, Jane had permanent booking at the Star Theater, but she decided not to go today. Okay, in this sentence, she refers back to our subject Jane. Okay, so this is an example of an anaphoric reference. The second one, after several years, as she approached another renewal of her vows, Melissa was called to an interview with a visiting French priest. Here, the word she and her refer cataphorically back to Melissa. Okay? So our pronouns she and her refers back to our noun Melissa. And it is an example of cataphoric cohesion. Next, we have conjunctive cohesion. Okay, so when we see conjunctive cohesion, this comprises the use of core conjunctions, basically involving the 3 coordinators and, but, or, and conjuncts which are of various kinds. Here are our examples to better understand this. First, in the ancient society, the people gathered together in the arena and made laws that guided the land. Okay, so the conjunction used here is the word and. Next, there are laws guiding the conduct of people in the society, but people break them in their propensity. So the conjunction used in this conjunctive cohesion example is the word but. Lastly, where people leave their wills, they have the choice to obey the law or break it. So the word or is the conjunction used in this example of conjunctive cohesion. So in examples above, Okay? The underlying linguistic items or coordinating conjunctions are used cohesively. Now we proceed to the third one, elliptical cohesion. Ellipsis denotes a kind of substitution by zero. It deals with the omission of word or words while simultaneously relying on the reader's minds to deduce and fill in the missing bits from what they have read or heard before. It is used in discourse to avoid repetition and redundancy. Again, it is used in discourse to avoid repetition and redundancy. In the following text or in the following examples, the words and expressions you can omit are in the brackets. So let's see. Tina looked back and she saw her parents. So here the word she could be omitted and the readers would know that Tina was the one who looked back and who saw her parents. Next, they were very happy and she was happy as well. So we could omit the word happy in this sentence. And if we read it, they were very happy and she was as well, we could know that she was also happy. They were strolling along and she was strolling along too. So if we omit the phrase strolling along, we could still know that she is also strolling because of the word to. Do you think they got there on time? Yes, I do. So the phrase think they got there on time or the verb phrase think they got there on time could be omitted here, but the readers would still know that what the speaker what the speaker was trying to say is that they got there on time. Next, ellipses can be realized at different clausal or sentential levels. For examples, Mary prayed and slept. Okay, the subject Mary is ellipted in the second clause. Okay, so although the writer or the speaker could say or could write Mary prayed and Mary slept, he or she omits the second word Mary in the second clause because it's just the same subject. Next, the rich are getting richer, the poor poorer. So here, um, are getting is being ellipted or is being omitted, but we could still know what the speaker or the writer tries to say. Next, he promised to be there yesterday and he was. So ellipsis at the adverbial level there yesterday is left unsaid in the second clause. But we as readers still know that the one who promised to be there yesterday really did went there, okay, have gone there. The fourth one, okay, the fourth method is substitution. So this denotes replacing a linguistic item with another. For example, would you like a cup of tea? Yes, I'd like one. So here, the word one replaces a cup of tea. Okay? So instead of saying, would you like a cup of tea? Yes, I'd like a cup of tea. So there's the respondent or the one who replied back could just say one, but the person he was talking to or she is talking to knows that that word one means a cup of coffee. Next, lexical cohesion. Lexical cohesion means using words to achieve unity in a text. So, there are four varieties of lexical cohesion. First, repetition. Repeating the same word or words. Play, play, play. That's all you seem to do. So here, the word play is being repeated 3 times. Next, synonymy. Using words with similar meanings. Okay, from the root word synonymy or synonym. I saw this large dog, really huge. Okay, The word large is synonymous to the word huge. Next, antonymy. Synonymy is for synonym, while antonymy is for antonym. So, meaning using words with opposite meanings. Opposite, okay, or the other meaning of what um, of a word. Get educated, you can't always stay ignorant. So, in this example, we know that educated is the antonym of the word ignorant. Next, collocation. Using words that go with each other, okay, or that match each other. My friend did me a great favor last week. Would you like a cup of coffee? No, I'd prefer no, I'd prefer tea. So in this sentence, we could see that coffee goes with the word tea. Next, we have coherence in discourse. Coherence manifests in discourse by the extent to which a particular instance of language use matches a shared knowledge of conventions as to how illocutionary acts are related to form large units of discourse. That's according to Widowson in 1978. Unlike cohesion, which is regarded as a linguistic means of establishing connectivity across sentences or utterances, and by what Widowson refers to as formal syntactic and semantic signals, that is, cohesive ties, coherence establishes some relationship between utterances through an interpretation of illocutionary acts. Next, the following constructed conversation explains the manifestations of coherence in discourse. So speaker A said, I have put the broom in the living room. And then speaker B replied, I'm eating my food. And speaking A replied back, okay. So the above constructed discourse can be interpreted vis-a-vis the social conventions of interaction which are identified as follows. A requests B to perform an action. B states the reason why he cannot comply, and then A undertakes to perform the action. It is very obvious that there are no cohesive features of utterance in the discourse featured above. Hence, it's not being analyzable from the perspective of cohesion. The cues needed to identify coherence in a discourse are conventional structure of interaction and the knowledge of the world. So in conclusion, we should note that while coherence deals with sense or meaning or substance, cohesion relates to unity or the tying of ideas or any other elements in a sentence. The concept of sense relates to the notion of meaningfulness or relevance. Okay? When we communicate, we create certain lexical and grammatical ties that bind our writing or speech together. So here, we can see the meaning of cohesion. Any piece of communication that is logical will be coherent. So watch for logicality in any piece of text you analyze stylistically. Then summary. In order to undertake an effective stylistic analysis of any text, you must pay attention to cohesion and coherence in the text. In doing this, we must have a good knowledge of the context of the text as well as its lexical and grammatical features. Okay, so we do not only deal with the grammatical or lexical features, but we also have to take note of the context in order for us to know if the utterance or the statement or the sentence has cohesion or coherence. Creating relevance and unity, that is cohesion and coherence, in our texts makes communication more meaningful and logical, more cohesive and coherent. And that ends my presentation for the second topic. Thank you very much everyone for listening. God bless.